This podcast is brought to you by Strong Tower Nutrition. Go to stnutrition.com, check out the new Strong Tower training program. It gives you anywhere from free workouts to free nutrition advice for 7 days. You get 7 days to try it out for free, see how you like it, and then after that, it's only $10 a month. So check that out. Check out the shop at stnutrition.com. See what supplements we have for you, and also support the small businesses. Okay, so today's going to be a little different. I wanted to do a Throwback Thursday. I noticed we got a lot of new followers, a lot of new subscribers. So I wanted to show you a lot of podcasts from the past that I really enjoyed. And this one just really hit me because, especially today, you hear a lot about people not having time to do anything. About time to take care of themselves, when this is the most important time to be taking care of yourself, no matter what you have going on. So this woman just blew me away with her work ethic, with her dedication to her family, and just her overall work towards her fitness goals and her fitness level. And I think y'all will really enjoy it. And this was from episode 30 with my friend, Meghan Quinn. Welcome to the Strong Tower Podcast.
I want to be in a kayak going down rapids.
Right.
Possibly could die.
Yeah.
That looks like fun to me.
I mean, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But that's what I love about me and you, is that we're both not trying to do the social.
So, how have you been?
I'm good. Very good.
What you got going on?
What do I have going on? Busy with work. Work is insane right now. Busy training. I'm getting ready to start training again, like heavy duty on Monday.
Okay.
Back into gear. Probably do another show at the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, jump in. I think I'm going to jump into this wellness category. I'm really, really excited. I'm so glad they finally brought it to the U.S.
Yeah, and that's in between fitness and figure and bikini, right?
Figure and bikini.
How do you even judge for that?
I don't really know exactly how they're going to judge for that. I think they're still really kind of figuring out how, like, the dynamics of how that's going to work.
Right.
But, I mean, they're definitely looking for big legs. They like that big leg look. You know, they're embracing the CrossFit body finally.
Yeah.
They're not forcing us to kind of either be really skinny or be, like, really super muscular, big back, you know, big muscular legs. It's the focus is from the waist down, which is kind of nice because a lot of us are genetically built more bigger bottom from the waist down. So it's a trend right now anyway. It's the going trend.
That's crazy though, and I think it's going to start off pretty well, but I think it's going to do like men's physique did. It's kind of like going to work its way into the other categories.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It starts off that way.
Right.
But then, because it's like you see guys going to the show, especially amateurs.
Yeah.
They're doing all three. They're doing
all three.
They're doing bodybuilding, men's physique, and then physique.
Right. Which was so unheard of before, you know.
Because they're three different things.
Exactly.
But the judges don't judge it that way, and it shouldn't be that way.
No, I know. So I'm excited. It'll be cool. I've seen a lot of like my peers really kind of like dive headfirst into it, and a couple girls that I know, I'm just so impressed with how their bodies are already sculpting by, you know, them gearing towards more of that category. I'm like, you know, you guys, it's really nice to see them embrace their genetics. So I think it's neat. It's going to be a lot of fun. So be cool. But
so why now? Why do you decide to try and do this?
Well, when I did a couple comps a couple years ago, I felt like the whole bikini category, when I did it, I was like, yeah, this is cool, this is great. But I was really like forcing my body to go in a direction like it just couldn't go. And I got really kind of like resentful at the whole bodybuilding industry because I'm like, well, wait, there's nothing that's for me. I'm not fitting into this whole, you know, figure category. I don't have that wide lat spread, and I'm never going to be that skinny. And when it came out, I was like, you know what? I need a goal, and I'm a goal person, and I have to have something like to shoot for, or it like get so complacent, and I start getting like coming out of my skin. Right. And I've been doing these treatments on my stomach to kind of help tighten up the skin and stuff like that. It's really great for like competitors and things like that. Right. And the guy that I see for my treatment, he's like, you got to do this. You got to go for this year. You know, you're going to be 35 next year. You know, that time is coming. Like, do it. And, you know, I'm just finally like, let's do it. Let's get through the summer. Let's have some fun. Yeah. And then let's kick into gear. Yeah. So probably by the end of this year, I'll be ready to go. So I'm looking forward to it.
So have you been like sticking with like working out like consistently? Okay.
Consistently. When I did my last show, it was a hard bounce back. It was, I will say, like a good month. It was like, you know, oh, I got to take a break. But then after like that good 4 to 5 week break, I finally was like, oh, nope, I got to get kicked back into gear. And it's just like, you just stay hooked to it. You see your body a certain way and you don't want to let all that hard work go at all. So I've just stayed consistent for, I would say, for the last 4 to 5 years, and just stayed on my regimen, dieting, exercise, 4 to 5 days a week, you know, eating every 2 to 3 hours as much as possible, you know, and sticking to a diet like it's a Bible. Checking in with the trainer constantly. I'm always checking in with somebody, whether it be who I normally train with or whether it be just somebody like, you know, that can hold me accountable, because that's the biggest thing for me is accountability. Right. Because if I don't hold myself accountable, I'm eating a whole bag of Oreos in 5 seconds.
Oh no, definitely.
Which is normal, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, you know what the crazy thing about you is that you're also a mom. You know what I mean? And then you work like constantly. And like it goes through my mind when I see like your Instagram and stuff like that. I'm like, I've listened to so many moms say, oh well, I have my kids and I can't do this and that. And then listening to you talk right now about your diet and training and stuff like, I'm like, and she's a mom.
Yes.
And she works full time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what, is it just like your work ethic, or is it like you're just good at balancing? What is it that
makes balance and work ethic. I've always had good work ethic. My dad comes from dad. He was always like that. You know, when I was young, I started working at a very young age. You know, it was like, got to get a job. We got to get you started in life. And then, you know, I kind of just took off from that. And, you know, as far as balance goes, when I had my kids, that taught me balance more than anything, because you got to have the go between. You got to have time with the kids and then time with your husband and then, you know, time for yourself. And I think when my one daughter turned about 2.5, I was really big into like the whole working out thing, but I didn't know how to do it or what to do. And I started training up at Total Fitness. And I met an amazing trainer up there, and she was like, you know, why don't we get you started? We'll start you off slow, whatever. And once I like really got into it, man, she really stressed, how bad do you want this? Right. How bad do you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle for you, for your kids, you know? And she said, it's got to be a priority for you. If you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And so I just have always stuck with that mentality. Like, this has got to be, I have to make this a priority. I don't care if I go at 10 o'clock at night or at 10 a.m. in the morning, I'm getting to the gym. Because I don't like to hear excuses like I don't have time. Everyone's got an hour in their day. Yeah. You can make an hour. You can work out at home for an hour.
Exactly.
You know, you can run outside if you can't afford to go to a gym, or you just can't get to go run around the block. You're fine. Go do a run and then do walking lunges while you're with it. Incorporate that. You can do your leg workout. You know, I just don't like to hear that I don't have time. I have kids. I have this. Make the time. Make the time if you want to do it. So that's something that I will always do. I'll always make the time. Plus, it's good for like my self-esteem and you know, just definitely. Me as a female. Like, I want to be able to take care of my body. It's important.
Well,
you know?
Also, like, because you have daughters, right? So, and it shows them.
Exactly.
Like, hey, this is what my mom does, you know, and it gets them, you know, pumped up to maybe want to do that one day, you know. And, I mean, that was one of the things that really took me away from being a trainer was people always gave me that excuse, and then they came back at me, well, you don't have kids. You don't know. I'm like, I don't think I need to have kids.
You don't.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing I would ask them. I was like, how bad do you really want it?
Exactly.
You know, how bad do you want it? And I could tell in their face that they don't want it. Right. They don't want to do. And what made me stop being a trainer is I always wanted it more for that person than they wanted it for themselves.
Right.
And I hated that. I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, there was a couple people that really put in work and that really came to work every single day. Right. And that did it on their own, too. And
but most of them they were on fire in the beginning, but then when it came to the actual work, they're like, oh, I just can't.
I can't do it.
I got work. I got kids. You know what I mean? And I tried to stick with them. Like one guy, I kept texting him for about 3 months every day. Hey man, when we gonna train? When we gonna train? When we gonna train? 3 months later, he came back. He was skinnier, but it was like a drug skinny.
Yeah, it was like skinny.
He came back because I could tell he went back to his old habits. Because we had this talk about drug use and stuff.
Yes.
So he went to his old habits, and he came back saying he lost weight. I'm like, bro, I know how you lost weight.
Right.
I'm not dumb.
Right.
You know what I mean? But oh my gosh, that's so crazy. And I try and tell people, there's this girl, what's her name? Jamie Easton or something like that. She's like she's on the cover of bodybuilding.com and all that kind of stuff. And she has like 5 to 8 kids or something like that. And she makes her food, and then does her thing.
That's what I do. Yep. That's exactly what I do. I prep my meals, and then I'll prep the girls' meals, and they want what I'm eating. Now I'll doctor it up for them because I don't want them to eat completely clean like that because it's really not good for them at their age. They need fruits, they need vegetables, like they need certain things with sugars and all that stuff. But no, I prep it all the same, and I do my husband's too. You know, he wants his done a certain way because he trains very heavily now too. He was big into wrestling for years and years, and he's really kind of stuck with that mentality, which is really what brought me into that whole fitness world again too. Was you know, you live when you live with somebody that's doing it, you kind of fall in suit too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
Might as well.
Yeah. So you see him doing it every day. You're like, oh, maybe I should do this. Yeah.
So, and he was training at the time, he was training for the Mawa tournament. Wrestling tournament was like an open tournament where kids, adults, whoever. And he was really going hardcore. And he was like, come train. Come join.
Yeah.
And we went balls to the walls with it. And I was hooked.
Yeah.
When you see the results, you don't want to let that go. You don't. You don't want to go back to looking the way you used to.
Right.
And then you want more.
Yeah.
I want to look better than I did last year, you know, especially a mom of 2 kids.
Yeah.
I get in my head, I'm very ego driven. Sometimes I'll go, oh, no, I'm not going to look 34. Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm going to look like I'm 24,
right.
You know, better than I did last year. So
Yeah.
that's always my goal every year is to look better than I did the year before.
And that's another thing when we used to go to retro.
Yeah.
And I would see you train.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Like a maniac. I'm bebopping around.
Yeah, it's everywhere. And you're not stopping to talk. You're not stopping to talk. You're not
No.
stopping to do anything. You know what I mean?
No.
And it was motivating and scary at the same time.
It's a little scary.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know how many people are probably intimidated of her? Like, even guys look at you and they're like, oh my gosh.
And that's how we trained it when I was training with Tracy. She would get 4 girls at a time, and it was go, go, go. We don't have time to talk. We don't have time to stop. This is not social hour. You're here to work, and then you can talk after you're done.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I was mind trained to be in the gym, because we would be in the gym working out, and if anyone came up to talk to us, she would be like, excuse me, bye.
Yeah.
Excuse me, bye.
Yeah.
So I got used to, there's no talking.
Oh, yeah.
This is work. And then you can go talk at the shake bar when you're done if you really feel
Right.
like it.
Yeah,
But no, it's boom, let's get it done. Got
It's
places
crazy.
to be.
Oh, exactly. Especially when you have a goal in your mind and
Yeah.
you're driven towards that.
Yes.
You don't want to have some stupid like dude come up to you
No
and like
thanks.
try and talk. We're not here for that, you
No.
know. And I mean, in the beginning, that's how I was when I started in bodybuilding, and you know, it was just like that's all I watched on TV. Like
Right.
everything was bodybuilding driven.
Right.
And I look back now, I'm like, why don't I look like that now? Because I don't have that same, you know, my mind is so many different places.
Right.
And I try and work out to stay healthy and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing like a powerlifting program and stuff like that now because I want to get stronger. And but no, it's just not. My mentality is not the same as it was, and I wish I could
It's
keep
hard.
that. But it's so that was the only thing for me. That's
Right.
all I cared about, and my goal was to be a professional bodybuilder.
Right.
You know, but then I got to the point where I realized that what I had to do and what it takes. I was like,
It is a lot of work. And it's all about, you know.
it's the work, it's the drugs, it's the food. It's the
It's all the above.
It's all about yourself, and
It is.
you know all that. You know what I mean?
And the right guidance too, like having the right
That too.
guidance, like having the right coaching, and
Yeah.
making sure that like you're sticking with the right crowd, because you can be really led in the wrong direction. I have seen some females, and I'm like, oh my god, don't go there.
Yeah, I mean, but so what about your daughters? Do they like do anything like active or
heavily involved with dance? They're both competitive dancers. They've been involved for, this is their 4th year on the team.
Okay.
And they're like 5 days a week in the studio.
So that's another thing you do.
That's
is to-
another thing. Yeah. Yeah, we just add that in.
Oh, that's crazy.
So we just kind of card them everywhere,
Yeah.
but they compete from September to June. We travel all over the East Coast.
Wow.
They start heavily competing in like February, so they train very, very, very hardcore. And when they train, it's private lessons on the weekends, and it's classes during the week. And then we drive them to Townsend for gymnastics lessons. They do like private gymnastics lessons downstate.
Yeah.
And traveling all over with them, plus plus training, plus meal prepping.
Wow.
So when I go to competitions, I'll meal prep all my meals and theirs, and we just cart it and take it with us. The whole family packs and goes together. So, and then we find gyms wherever we go, wherever we stay, which is fun too, because then we make all kinds of connections other places when we go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all into it. We got dance, we have gymnastics. We're in the play at school. We're in the choir. So it's busy. It's really busy. Really, really busy.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, and they love it. They love it. And they want to keep going. You know, they have goals. They want to go to Cap Calloway, and the one wants to go to New York and dance. And I mean, they're 7 talking about this kind of stuff. So it really impresses me how involved that they've become. And this is not by me. You know, I was a dancer, but it's their own thing. You know, they've developed this for themselves, and they do it together, which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So
are they like far apart in age or
3 months apart?
3 months. Okay.
So one's mine and one's my husband's, both from previous relationships. Okay. And then my husband adopted my daughter 2 years ago. Oh, okay. It'll be 3 years this August.
Cool.
So yeah, and they're very close. Very close. Very different, but very close.
Right.
So
did they get themselves into dance, or did you kind of like say, "Here, try this"?
I started them. I started my one daughter, and she kind of like was not really like super into it at first, so I pulled her out. And when she turned 3, she came to me and said, "I want to dance again." And I'm like, "Okay, let's try this again." Yeah. And when she went in, my stepdaughter followed suit. She was like, "I want to do it too," because at first she didn't want any parts of it. And they did it for about 2 years. And the owner of the studio, she came to me and she was like, I want them on my team." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not ready for this. This is a big commitment."
Right.
And we put them on the team. We had them try out. We put them on the team, and they just took off. Totally took off. And they've just been involved ever since. And then we just add a day on every year. If we were 4 days in the studio this year, now we're 5, and I'm sure we'll be 6 next year. Yeah. You know, but they're in it. They're in it. But it's a lot.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay, so that's 2 things that you have on your schedule is like the whole lifting and then taking your daughters to work. So what do you do for like work and stuff like that? Because you're like from what I hear, like a popular like hair person or whatever you call them.
Yes, I'm a hairstylist at I'm a hairstylist at Salon by Dominic, and I work full time. I do work. I usually put in like over 40 hours a week. Everyone's like, "Oh, how many days a week?" I only work 3 days a week, but I do almost 6 days worth of work in 3 days. I have an assistant that I work with. I have 2 schedules, and they're always filled. So I have that, and then I go in a lot on my days off. Okay. So I'll usually go in at least almost every weekend. I'll go in a Saturday or Sunday for like 1 or 2 clients if need be, just to kind of help with the load that I'm carrying right now. So, I mean, the hair world is something I'm super engulfed in. Yeah. We have classes constantly we're going to, and they're not local. Like, I just went to a class out in Denver. I was out there for a weekend. I'm planning a class in Paris this summer with a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Wow, you're in it.
Yeah, we're in it. Like, I'm totally in it. So, it's really cool. It's my love. Yeah. That is like my true love of life next to fitness. It's like they go hand in hand together. So that's something that I feel like I live in the hair world. My husband will tell you I'm never home. I'm always at work or the gym.
And you know what? I don't know why this came up. I don't know, because I always I love seeing people that represent. So like, for me being like, when I was a personal trainer, I'm big into looking the part.
Yes.
Right. So when hair stylists have like different hairstyles and look good with their hair, like I love that, because when I was younger, so one time I went to get my hair cut and the lady thought I said shave my head or something. No, she shaved my whole head.
Oh,
I cried.
I bet.
Like,
I bet.
I went to school. I was like in middle school, and they called me like bald eagle, and now I shave my head all the time.
They ruined
But
your self-esteem.
yeah, because the lady, she was like, I thought he said shave it off. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, when did I say that?
Oh my God, lack of communication.
Oh my gosh, and it was at like a hair cuttery or whatever. It was cheaper places, but every time I like talk to a hairstylist or like think about that, I always go back to that moment, and it was just like, I don't know if I have PTSD from it or what.
It happens. It's not.
But now I shave my own head,
trust
so
me. Well, there you go. It's easier.
It is
that
what
way.
it is, But doing all this stuff, what really like takes you to the core of your motivation to even like do all this?
My kids.
Your kid. Okay.
My kids they're a huge motivator for me. I just want them to see that, their mom is a strong female, and you can do whatever you want as long as you want to do it. If you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And they're the biggest reason why I work so hard every day. Mm-hmm. It was very different when I was growing up, and my dad took care of everything, and my mom was kind of like, she just catered to the family at home. My parents are wonderful people, but I saw that when I grew up, I wanted to be the head of household. I wanted to run my ship. I wanted to do everything. And, that's exactly what I did. Yeah. And what I use them daily. And the fact that, like, I have one life. Right. And I do not want to waste my time just sitting on a couch or being lazy or this and that. Like, I want to do things. Exactly. I don't want this life to go to waste at all, because you see so many people today, and it's like 1 minute they're here and the next minute they're gone. Like, I want to be able to say I did everything I could to invest in myself in life, and all the positive things too with that. Right. So that's another big motivator for me, is just waking up every day and being great, being able to wake up every day and say, here I am, I'm here. Yeah. Now what am I going to do?
Get to work, right?
Let's go.
Do something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So
how much of a role does like success play into it? Like, how do you kind of see success as like money, or just like?
That's a good one, because some days success is money, some days success is just getting out of bed, and some days success is just having good, healthy relationships. Like, it's so different for me, but I think more than anything, success is for me is just waking up and being happy and healthy, truthfully, honest to God.
I feel the same way.
Because money can be taken from you tomorrow. Like, all that disappears tomorrow. Yeah. A house gone tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But if I have my health and I'm like really happy, then those things are like key for me. Yeah. Huge. That's the greatest success. Right. I always say if I don't have anything, I'd rather be happy. Like, I just want to be happy. That's it. Right. So.
And that's what I think a lot of people get misconstrued, is like, oh, if you have these things and you have money and stuff, because that's what they base their success off of. Right. You know, how much money you make or all this other stuff. Like, some days I'm the same way. Like, I do. Like, oh, I don't make enough. Oh, I got to do more. Right. But then other days I'm waking up, I'm like, I got in my workout this morning. I did this, and that. Like, I'm good. Right. Like, I feel successful just being, like, doing that.
Just waking up and doing the daily things that, make you feel whole. Yeah. Instead of doing the things that don't make us feel whole,
Exactly. Now, you mentioned that, like, you're a strong woman, and I did see that you posted on your story about that Katie Sowers, the coach from the 49ers. Yes. Which is, I mean, probably one of the coolest things. Not that she's just a woman, but like an openly gay person.
Yeah. Definitely.
man or woman,
Yep.
to be in the Super Bowl. So how important do you think is not just to sports, but like to the world that like women are coming up in football?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because this is a tough topic because it can make a lot of men mad, when you start talking
'Cause they're
about the
dumb.
whole female
'Cause they're-
situation.
yeah.
But if you look at it for so long, like, males dominated in so many things, and that's just the way it was.
Right.
That's just the way our world was.
Mhm.
And now you have these females who are so, like, first of all, they're driven,
Yeah.
they're beautiful, they are successful, and they're not afraid to speak out now and just be like, okay, here I am, and this is who I am, and I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to be intimidating and walk with my head held high and embrace who I am and embrace any quote unquote flaws that the world may see as a flaw.
Right.
And now, here and be successful. And because when I saw that, I was like, that is so amazing.
Yeah, me too.
And she seems like she is highly intelligent. She's got it going on. She's absolutely stunning. And she's like, here I am. And I'm gay. Big deal. So what? Because what
matter.
does that play a part in football?
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
They don't.
There's
it
guys
doesn't
that are
matter.
gay. You just don't know.
Exactly. Hello, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
Should we go there?
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's,
God.
Because sidetrack on that. But because the guy that said that he's the quarterback,
Right.
I guess that came out and said like he wasn't even the quarterback.
Oh, see, I have so many
And then
opinions
the dad
on
was
that.
weird too.
The whole thing seems like a scandal to me
That's what I
because
think.
I feel like you can't. He had no business talking about, and he wasn't there to justify for himself. He can't back up his own story. So I
Yeah.
feel like that whole accusation is a bunch of nonsense to
It
me.
is. They just brought him in to start.
It's like they like to stir the drama. They got to have
Exactly.
something to talk about.
Exactly.
But yes, no, the whole situation, with being gay and in sports and this and that. I just love how they try to tie that in because it cracks me
Yeah.
up. Like they don't match. But you guys
Yeah.
like to use that as like leverage in your media. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
And even if you go back, like I don't even see that men were dominant. They were
Right.
just doing it and weren't letting women do it.
right, exactly.
So I don't even say that they were dominant because there's men that suck at sports.
completely.
That even the analysts that talk about sports aren't
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, you could talk about them, but how can you play? This girl played.
She played and played well.
Exactly.
And played really, really well.
Yeah, and there's another woman in the NFL that I don't think she works for them anymore, but she was the actual first woman, and she played the same, in their same little league, whatever they had.
Unreal.
And but it was crazy because I did see an article that Kobe Bryant actually said that there's 3 girls in the WNBA that could play in the NBA today because they asked him, "Hey, do you think your daughter would be like the first girl to play in the NBA?" He said, "I don't know about all that, but these 3 girls in the WNBA right now could play in the NBA."
See, that's amazing to me. We need to let them.
And there's-
We need to let them.
Yeah, so there's I don't know if you know any WNBA players.
I don't.
But you
Basketball
got-
is not really my
But
football
I
and all
know,
that stuff. Yes.
Elena Deladance from
No,
Delaware.
Yes, very well.
She was one of them that he said,
She's
and I
awesome.
completely agree.
Yeah.
Her size would probably put her like in men's. She's like a point guard.
Exactly.
So she's pretty short.
Right.
Even though she's
She is
6'5",
pretty short compared
to men.
Yeah.
The only thing is the speed of the game's different.
Right.
So I think if they gave them a couple games to like get acclimated or a season to
think
get
they'd do
acclimated,
great.
yeah.
They would do excellent
Yeah.
for sure.
And then there's another one, Diana Taurasi and then Maya Moore, who were both like legends of the WNBA. And that's another thing is like guys are always like, "Oh, WNBA," like yawning and stuff.
Right. Right.
I'm like, it's so different now.
Way different.
They don't
from
miss
what I
every shot.
understand.
Yeah, it's so different. It's so much more fun to watch and all this other
And
stuff.
they're so talented.
Dude, I mean,
They're so talented.
it's ridiculous. Like, yes, there's going to be a difference between men and women. Whether like everyone wants to be equal, I understand that.
Right.
There's always going to be a difference between men and women. And the main thing is testosterone.
Right.
Testosterone makes men bigger, stronger, faster, angrier, all those kind
Right.
of things. And so like a woman playing football is different. If like playing football, she's gonna get hurt, like demolished.
She is
those
going to get
dudes,
demolished.
even
It's
if she's the
not-
kicker.
Right.
Because they were talking about the girl, Carly Lloyd, who plays on the USA soccer team.
Yes.
They were talking about her doing being the kicker on the Eagles or something. I'm like, even if she's the kicker, she's gonna get wrecked.
Well, because they're just going to gun for her at that point.
Yeah.
I remember when I had
Either that or just completely stay away from her.
Exactly, because they feel like they're going to hurt her.
Yeah.
When I was doing jujitsu for a little while there, when I was training with all guys.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. They were messing me up because
Yeah.
nobody wanted to be beat by
Yeah.
a girl.
Of course.
I was at a school where there just wasn't a lot of girls there, which is fine. I
Yeah.
love the school I was at. It was amazing. But, it was rough because I was getting slammed on this mat by like 18-year-old boys
Yeah.
because they were in my weight class just because no one wanted to be beat by a girl.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what it would be like for football for these girls. I mean, they would be crushed.
Oh,
They'd
yeah.
be crushed.
Yeah. I mean, I have
So-
no problem with coaching. I wouldn't even have a problem with them playing.
No,
That's
not
their
at all.
own problem. They're gonna have their own problems doing that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But coaching, I think it's a great thing because
Oh, I do too.
I don't know, women just have a different thing in their brain when it comes to different things.
I mean, we're
And it's gonna bring
strategists.
it's gonna bring a different dynamic to that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And we're more emotional, so we're like more emotionally connected to things. It might help balance things out a little
Yeah.
bit, just saying,
Yeah.
So,
And then a lot of times, men are kind of stuck in their ways. That's a big thing
Very
that men
much.
do. So, bringing it to sports, I think, is like one of the
it's awesome.
coolest things. And
All these women wrestlers I am loving it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am loving it. And
Yeah.
there's so some talent out there. I love watching them on the mat,
yeah,
picking up these boys and slamming them and pinning them. And I think it's great. I think it's great that they're finally embracing and allowing them to kind of like be more a part of the sport, especially. It's one
yeah.
of my
There's a
favorite
MMA
sports.
fighter who, what did she do? She didn't. It wasn't the Olympics, I don't think. But she like wrestled to one of the highest levels of wrestling, and then she went to Olympics to like wrestle girls. But until that, she wrestled guys, and she just whooped every single one of them.
See?
And now, like as an MMA fighter, I think she's like 2 or 3 in the world.
It's amazing.
She's been hurt for a while, but she's ridiculous wrestler.
See, that's awesome. Those
Yeah.
are the girls that I look up to.
Yeah,
They
I
push
mean,
their way to the top. They fight their way to the top. Because that's what I did. I just fought my way to the top. I didn't stop. Kept
Yeah.
going.
and that's how like if I'm ever blessed to have a daughter, like that's how I want her to be.
Yep.
I see girls that like they get so like punch drunk over guys and just like stupidest things, and I'm just like, if I have a daughter, she better not turn out that way.
I stress to my girls, I cannot stress enough, and my husband will vouch for this, how important it is for females to have good, healthy female relationships with each other.
Yeah.
Have a tribe. Hold your tribe close. Be loyal to your tribe, because we need each other.
Yeah.
And I feed off of my female friends.
Right.
Like I get a piece from everyone, and we're supposed to be each other's strength, and that's my biggest thing I tell my girls when they go to dance competitions. We always clap for the other team.
Oh,
we
yeah.
always tell the other ones good job. Whether you think they did a good job or not, it doesn't matter. You always speak kindly about other people. Keep your opinion yourself. You want to talk about somebody, talk to me about it. Don't go
Right.
talk to your friends about it.
Right.
Things like that, because in our world today, it's like it's every man for himself.
It is.
And I feel like it's more like strength in numbers. Like we is better than I. So for my girls, they need to have a good, solid female tribe so that
Yeah.
they can become good people. Because everyone benefits each other in some way. So
Right. Yeah, and I mean, especially like another thing I would want to teach my daughter would be like to be independent, to not you're gonna know how to change a tire. And I'm not a
Yep.
big car person, but I'm gonna teach you everything I know about
Yes.
it. You know what I mean?
yes,
I'm gonna teach you how to do things yourself and not
Do it
rely on other
yourself.
people.
Mm-mm.
Because that's why I think a lot of women look for in guys is that they can do stuff for them and
That was
stuff like
never.
that. And
Yes,
I can't
that's
stand
the
that.
one thing I will never, ever, ever. That was just something that I was never into. I wanted my own stuff.
Yeah.
I had been in a very, very unhealthy relationship for a long time, and I was so codependent,
Right.
and I felt like I couldn't do on my own without him, and this and that. And then when I finally walked away from that and decided, okay, I'm gonna take a different route in life.
Right.
And I had my daughter. I was like, no, I can do this. I can do this. I have this baby. I have no choice. I have this great career. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to sit here, or am I going to go back to the same life, or I'm going to get out of this hole? And that's exactly what I did. And once I got out of the hole, I was like, oh, I don't need anyone. I can do this.
Yeah.
And then years later, like I ended up reconnecting with my husband, and you know, our relationship never based on what he could buy me, how much his income was, you know, all that. It was based solely upon who he was as a person, you know, and how we can grow with each other instead of the money situation. So no, independence is huge for me. Huge.
Yeah. So let's go to some of the questions.
Oh boy.
So we got some. So there's one. Let's see. There's one about social media.
Okay.
So you seem to have a big following.
Yes.
Where do you think? Where does that come from? Like, is that more your hairstylist people, or is that more like your life?
I think it's hairstylist. I think it's my life. I think it's the fact that my mom has taught the entire state of Delaware since she's been a teacher at a big Catholic school in Wilmington for over 30 some years. So, you know, we live in a small state.
Yeah.
You know, and once you do something and you do something positive, sometimes it just takes off like wildfire. And I think my social media really, I got to be, it took off when I had won the first year of Best of Delaware. And I was Best of Delaware, and I literally had like almost 5 years in recovery, and I was like very, very, very driven, and I was just kind of like connecting with all the right people, and I was getting involved in the community, because that was really big for me, was like service work and being involved with the community. And it was weird. Like, I just was meeting people, and they would post me on their story or this and that, and then the followers just like flew in, and I wasn't expecting any of it. I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I have 10,000 followers where I don't even know half these people. And they were from all over. It was just so crazy. It just started happening. And so, and it just flourished from there. I've kind of plateaued a little bit, because I've kind of like, you know, you get to be busy, and you fall back on your social media a little bit, but it's still constantly growing. But it was all just really being involved in the community big time.
Because the actual question is, how do you get your followers up? So you took like the actual making connections route, and that kind of, because a lot of people when they give advice about it, they're like, oh, you need to post more, you need to post on your story more.
And that's always part of
blah,
it
blah,
too.
blah.
Yeah, you do want to post as much as possible, and you want to give your viewers something to bring them in, whether you are motivational, whether you want to be dramatic, whether you want to put your whole drama out there. You know, people are going to follow you, you know, if you give them something. And but mine was really mostly who I am meeting people, and just, you know, really heavily being involved, because I didn't expect to become like that at all. It was no expectation. I wasn't trying to be big time at all. And now it's sometimes I'm like, how do I maintain this? This is a lot of pressure, because Instagram is huge. Like it's
so big,
huge. It is the basis of our world today. Like everything is driven off of that.
And now it's really hard to like be found, and a lot of people
Very hard.
You know, like a lot of people that are just now making Instagram and stuff, like it's hard to get noticed. It's hard to, you know, because there's so many people, and it sucks, because I see the same people over and over. I'm like, where's everyone else at? Like, I'm seeing the same things every time I scroll through. I'm like, what is it?
And like we would a couple things I would do, like with my clients, like it would be like a trickle effect. I would be like, okay, hey, so if you post this on your page, we could do, I'll post this on mine. And we would like almost like barter, like I would barter with people to like promote me, I'll promote you kind of thing. And that really helped me too. Okay. Especially with my hair following. Right. It was very much like, you know, I need my clients, I would tell my clients, hey, can you post, I need you to post a selfie. Today's selfie day. I need every single one of you to post and tag me in this. And it would be like I would get like 30 followers just from a day of my clients posting my work of them.
Right.
It was great. So it's about who you know, I swear.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's a give and take.
Yeah.
You scratch, I scratch.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so.
And then until that day where Instagram makes it so we can't see the likes and all that kind
it's
of
going
stuff.
to happen.
You know?
They're on their way.
Yeah. You're going to see who actually posts anymore.
Exactly.
Because of it, you know?
And posting's huge. Do post as much as possible, I will say. I was annoying in the beginning. I posted all the time.
And that's the one thing I don't really do.
Like post enough?
Yeah. It's because, like, I don't know. It's not because I feel like it's irritating to people.
Right.
I don't care what other people are thinking.
Right.
But, like, for me, I don't know. It irritates me.
Like all the posts and all that stuff.
It's just like I'm tired of, okay, what would I want to see?
What would you want to see? Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of think, and I like mine not to be like, oh, picture on my phone, boom.
Right.
You know what I mean? I set stuff up. I use good cameras. I try
and
to
that's important today.
It's so many.
That's very important today. Is that you want your photography to be good. You want your videos to be good. You want it is about the vanity and it looking good. You have to make it look good, or they're just gonna pass your page by. You know, they don't care. I try to keep it real positive on my page too. Like I never try to. I don't discuss anything negative, or I don't put anyone else down, or try to give too much of an opinion to where it could stem off a nice little debate on my feed or something like that. I really try to keep it really light and positive, because people do like that. I mean, every now and again you get your couple people that you love seeing their little drama and their little negative on there, because we do get sucked into that. Yeah. But, I when I've taken work will send us to take classes on like social media and blogging and things like that, and the number one thing they stress is be positive. Right. Be positive and always speak positively about everyone. And no matter what, always try to keep positive. So
and if you got something negative to say, why post it?
Don't post it.
Like, why?
Tell your neighbor.
You know what I mean? Like, how many people you actually think are going to agree with you when you post something?
The negative ones.
I've always thought that, because Facebook's huge for that.
Yes, it is.
Not so much Instagram, but more Twitter and Facebook.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? I've seen Instagram arguments, but I see more on Twitter than I do. I did see something the other day on Twitter, was like, this kid took a picture of this kid in the gym, and he was going to play basketball, and he was dressed in like all Lakers gear and had like the matching purple and yellow shoes, and he was like, this dude's really trying to play. And everyone's like, instead of making fun of the kid wearing the Lakers gear, they were making fun of the dude that took the picture. They're like, dude, you're mad creepy for taking a picture.
I mean, I kind of agree with everyone else.
I did too. I was like, oh, that's so real. That's
a great way to look at it, actually. That is a great way to look at it.
And I was like, wow, this day and age is so crazy, because when I was younger, we would make fun of the Lakers guy.
Right.
But now people are making fun of the creepy dude taking a picture of a stranger.
It happens.
I was like, that's hilarious. But and then this question's from, you probably know her. She's one of your followers, Lauren.
Oh yeah, Lauren.
She said, "What's one goal in life you have not achieved yet?"
One goal in life I've not achieved yet. I don't know. I think I've really hit everything that I've wanted to do in my life. Like I wanted to compete in a fitness competition, did that. I wanted to have a kid, did that. I wanted to get married, did that. Bought a house. That's a good one, Lauren. I don't like that you stumped me. I don't know.
You have any business goals? Like,
well,
would you ever start your own?
So no, everyone asks me this all the time.
Yeah.
No, I love my kids, and it's either
because that would take away. Yeah, that would take away a lot.
Or have kids. And with the salon, you have to be present 24/7 at least for the first 5 years. And with them being 7, soon to be 8, I just can't waste that much time. And by the time my business would be like crazy successful, they would be teenagers, and I would be like, they don't want to hang out with me anyway at that point. Yeah. No, as far as business goals, I really want to travel the country, and I want to teach. I enjoy teaching a lot. I have assistants at work, and I really get a huge high off of seeing other people become successful.
Yeah. Definitely.
That is just, I just love it. So there are some things going on in the future. I can't really say too much, but there are some things coming up this year where that opportunity is going to be made available for me. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of training. But I'm hoping to be able to travel a lot more and be able to get back and be able to teach.
Oh, definitely.
So
That's awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah, but that's probably my biggest goal is to travel and teach for business.
That's
So, but
crazy.
life goals I've hit. I feel pretty confident. Like I'm happy with all the goals that I have hit in life.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's not about the money. Like I don't need to make all this money and have this big house and this fancy car, and I don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like nice things, but
and that's how you win. You know what I mean? That's how you win in life is when you're happy.
when you're happy.
You know what I mean? Like some people's happiness is like $100 million or something like that.
Which
you know
is
what I mean?
totally fine.
Right.
Totally
But
fine.
if your happiness is having a husband, a kid, and a job that you love, there you go. Boom.
And that's what it is for me.
You know
truly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm still happy because I'm on a journey to do it.
Exactly.
And
you're
I get
making
to do
goals. You're doing that. Like you're
have goals to
doing
do it.
that.
Right.
So, and that's key.
Yeah.
Just get up and do it. So.
Exactly. And then this one is from John, and this is for both of us.
Okay.
What is something that you failed at?
Something that I failed at. Well, I'm not good at jiu-jitsu. I found that out. I really try. I tried. I'm not the best at it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I wasn't very successful in that realm.
But what makes you not good at that? Because that's something that you just have to do consistently to be good at it.
Yeah, it was. Well, I remember my coaches saying you need to back off that you're bodybuilding a little bit. I was having a hard time.
You're using more strength.
Yeah,
that's what they tell me. Yeah,
too much strength, and like I was too muscular, and I was having a hard time like leg
Flexibility.
locking and flexibility and things like that. So but I didn't want to give that up.
Oh,
so
exactly.
it really put a damper on me progressing in the jiu-jitsu world because it was like lose muscle and you can do it because you have the stamina, but if you don't lose some of this muscle, and I just was like nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well,
So-
you didn't really have a goal with jiu-jitsu.
Nah,
did
I
you?
just wanted to
You
do
just do
it.
it for fun, right?
And I mean, of course, when you
And
get
that
in
helps you.
something, you want to, when I get in something, it's like I just can't do it just the bare minimum. I want to compete in the best competition in the country or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't make it there.
Yeah.
I had given up.
It's like I've had people like ask me because I actually trained someone. I train an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
So I've had people ask me, "Oh, Ben, why don't you fight or whatever?" I'm like, I would, but I want to put everything into that.
Exactly.
Just like I did bodybuilding,
Right.
I want to put everything in it, and I don't have that to give.
Right.
Right now I'm trying to build a business, and I have a podcast that I love doing. So like I put my mind's all over the place.
Right.
So.
What about you?
know,
What do you think one thing you failed at?
One thing, I think everything. I
Really?
failed at. but I think you need to have that.
Yeah.
You need to have those failures because you learn from them.
You do learn.
If you
from
choose
them.
to learn from those instead of just quitting,
Exactly.
you get back up. Okay, what did I do differently?
Right.
And every time I do that, I might fail again and again.
Right.
But I'll figure it out eventually. And I have done that. I failed tons of things. I failed school.
Same.
I mean, it took me. I failed 8th grade, so I had to do that again.
Okay, same. I got kicked out, so
Yeah.
we're on that.
There you go.
We were the bad kids in school.
Yeah, I mean, I had to take summer school every single year. High school.
Did you? Yeah.
I got out. I had a 0.8 GPA in high school. Had no desire to do that kind
Right.
of that stuff, But then when I went to Dawn Career Institute, I
Yeah.
went there for personal training. Graduated with a 4.0. I was like, so it
You
shows
found your love.
I found something that I love to
Yeah.
do. If it wasn't for my mom, who just signed me up without asking me, I would have never gotten into that.
That's awesome.
And I found out that I don't know if I failed at training because I chose to stop.
Right.
I felt like a failure, but I don't know if I actually failed. That's just me being hard on myself.
Well, aren't we our own worst critics?
We are.
We are our own worst
Especially
critics.
me. I tell people sometimes, you can say anything you want. You're not going to say anything worse to me than I have to myself.
Exactly.
You know? So I mean, that was one of them, and now I got this stuff, and I'm waiting to see where it goes.
I think it's going to go really, really, really well.
You know?
It seems like great success to me. You know?
I mean, it's all right.
It's going good.
I told myself, you know what? Don't care about subscribers. Don't care about likes. Just do it for fun.
Do it for
and
fun.
that's what I've been doing.
Exactly.
I have fun doing it, and I was like, okay, let's get out of your comfort zone. Like, I'm very shy.
Right.
I'm very to myself.
You were
I'm a
always
hermit.
to yourself. Whenever I saw you at the gym, you were always
Yeah.
to yourself.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
I did notice that about you.
Now, if people come and talk to me, then
Right.
it's
It's a
we can
different
go we can go all
circumstance.
day. But I'm not gonna approach people.
Right.
That's just not who I am. I don't know why. It's just
That's
whatever.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, doing this really got me out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
and I love it. I
We
love
get to
it.
see your authenticity. You get to see like
That's-
who you are
Yeah.
in real life, and
And that's the point of me having guests on.
right.
Is because like I don't know if you know Carlos Thomas, the big dude.
Yes.
Yeah, I had him on like a month ago.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And he walked in, and I was like, huh? Like, dude is massive. And I was like,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
But I learned so much,
That's
man.
cool.
Because when you look at him, you're like bodybuilding.
yeah.
Like you automatically just think, oh, he lifts,
Right.
you know. But then you learn that he's going to a prestigious school for his master's, like,
It's
and
phenomenal.
he works at University of Pennsylvania.
Right.
And all these different things about him, and it's not just about him, but about everyone.
Right.
You know, about you, how you're a mom and you do all these things.
We got
It
all
blows,
these
that
things
stuff
going.
blows my mind.
You talk about failures, you know, I will say the one thing that I will say in life that I feel like I kind of like I really struggled for a long time with my addiction. Like, it was a really big piece of what kind of put me in the hair world, which put me in the fitness world. It was like a whole trickle effect. You know, I struggled with drugs and alcohol for such a long time. It took me to the worst place possible, you know, almost near death.
Wow.
And then being put into the hair world and given an opportunity, which I should have never even been given the opportunity due to the circumstances I was in. And that really opened up doors for me, because I went from living on the street to now having somewhat of a career path. Somebody believed in me, said, okay, we're going to give you a chance. Don't screw up, or we're going to give you a chance. And it was like this chance of a lifetime that I held on to. I'm like, I can't let this go. I really can't let this go. And once I just stepped foot in it, it just took off like wildfire. And I life changed, and I wanted to be clean, and I wanted to live a happy life. And once we accomplished the being clean part, I was like, shit, I can do a lot. Like, I can do anything. If we can do this, then we can do anything.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of that motivation came from too.
Okay.
Was that whole recovery process. And I'm not ashamed of it now. Like,
Right.
you know, people will ask me about it, and we'll talk about it. And I think we're coming up on like 13 years now.
Wow.
Something along those lines. I don't
Yeah.
know. I kind of lost track.
Yeah.
But, you know, it gave me such an appreciation for all that I have now too. Like, huge appreciation, which is why I always say it can be gone tomorrow. Like, literally can be gone tomorrow, which is why all that vanity crap means nothing to me, which is why happiness is so important to me, because I didn't know what it was. So for me, that was my failure in life, but it was a comeback. So I don't want to say it was a failure. It was a failure that benefited, that helped. So, and your failures all benefited. Look where you are now.
Exactly.
Like, if you didn't get into all that, your training and all that, you would be sitting here doing a podcast. If you didn't
Exactly.
go to Dawn Career, if
Exactly.
you didn't get a 0.8, you know?
Exactly.
So it all makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
So what was that moment? Was it the opportunity that really got you out of that hole?
it's crazy. I actually met someone that I worked with, and she really was a huge influence. She believed in me. She's still very close to me to this day. She's actually my daughter's godmother, and she saw something, and she said, let's get you some help. Let's get you some help. And it only took that little opportunity of her saying, I'm here for you. You know, we work together. I know, you know, you got a lot going on, but let's help get you out of this hole. And once she introduced me into the world of recovery, it was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's go. And then that's when the clouds cleared and I was like, I love my life. I love doing hair. Let's do this. And I just took off. I was like, I'm not going to do drugs anymore. I'm going to do hair.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I found fitness, and that was like, that changed me even more.
So what was that period of? Was that like a short period of time that your mind changed between the two? Because I feel like people with those kind of addictions, like it really takes a lot to pull that away, unless something really like.
It was so many attempts of trying to get clean. I started when I was probably like 17, 16 range, and I used probably from 16 till I was about 22.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was multiple attempts, I took many vacations in rehabs, many vacations in like psych wards and places like that, and you know. It was, I had to take a beating. Like, I literally had to be at my bottom because there was a couple times where I thought I was, but I just wasn't willing to do the work.
Yeah.
But I was, when that opportunity came, when she said to me, you have to be willing to do anything to stay sober. And I was like, fine. What's that mean? She's like, no, you have to be really willing to do anything. Everything I say that you have to do, you need to at least take my advice and try to follow it. And I was like, all right, I've tried everything. Obviously, she knows more than me. She's doing well in her life. And I just did what was suggested. And that's where the whole having that strong tribe, that strong female tribe to hold yourself accountable so that you can be, you know, a better human being.
Definitely.
So, but it was a good 5-year stretch. It was a rough 5 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was homeless for a little while.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think is that part of your life? Does that still sit in you and just like really push you to keep going?
Very much
like,
so.
Yeah.
Very much
That's
so.
what I would imagine.
It's one of my number one drives because I never want to go back to that. I
Right.
never want to go back to that. And like my kids have never seen that part of me. My husband's never seen that part of me. You know, it's a life I do not miss.
Do they know about it though?
Yep.
Your kids and stuff?
My kids we used to take them to meetings with me all the time because it's really active in 12-step program. And so I would bring them with me, and they've always been a part of the process. You know, they know the Serenity Prayer. They know it from when they were 2, you know. So, yeah, they're pretty – they know. And like, my husband's sober, too. So, like, they know their daddy doesn't drink, and that's really great for them. So, if they're like – we go to a restaurant, and they're like, you're not order beer, do you? And no beer for us. We're good, but thank you. So, it's pretty cool that they – and they get it, and they have respect for it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, they have a lot of respect for it. But they know we can't drink. It's okay if other people can, but they know we don't.
Right.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's why a lot of people, it's funny, like, me and my dad played Australian football together. And did we play together? No, I think he stopped right before I started playing.
Oh, really?
But, you know, I mean, there's a couple Australians on the team. We played on a team in Philly.
Nice.
And he would go out and travel with them. And they would always go,
That's cool.
And then they would always like stop at the bar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the ongoing joke was like, oh, Aaron's getting a Pepsi, and they're all having beer and stuff like that, you know?
That's cool.
And thing I respect about him is like he'll go to the bar just to hang out, and he'll just drink a Pepsi or whatever. He don't drink. You know what I mean? And I think that's just the.
You gotta live still. I mean, we go out. We go out and we
go
have our
out and
bottles of water
and
we hang out and we hang out with people that drink. And, you know, I always say just because we stop drinking doesn't mean the whole world has to stop drinking. But we still have a great time.
Do you ever get people like that don't know your history, like pressure you?
All the time.
Oh, come on, dude. I hate that.
All the time.
I hate that more than anything. Oh, come on, just have one.
And they don't quite get it. Or they'll go, you're so lame or whatever. I'm like, well, I'll be lame.
Yeah.
I'll be lame because I'll remember my diet and you won't. So,
exactly.
You know, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I just kind of laugh. I'm like, no thanks. But thanks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like me and my wife, like we had our party stages, you know. I started pretty early in middle school. And when people talk about what they're doing now and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was like in 8th grade. doing that. So
Exactly. Well, you exhausted that life. You don't need to do that now because you're over it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I was like, that's cool if you do it. Like, get it out of your system. Go ahead. But don't sit there and say that I'm not fun or
Right.
like I'm because I'm not drinking with you.
God, we have so much fun. We have so much fun. We go to clubs. We go everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Now, see, me, I understand when people say that because I'm different when I
Right.
drink. I'm silly and I can't stop smiling all the time.
Right.
And when I'm not drinking, like I don't smile that much.
Right.
But yeah, I understand when people say that. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever, I don't care.
To each his own.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a big going out hanging out with friends guy right
Okay.
now. I think maybe like I'll be 30 in April.
Okay.
And maybe in my 30s, I don't know. Like people say your 30s are your best years.
I'm having so much fun.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I am having so much fun in my 30s. I
Yeah.
cannot lie.
because I just feel like a lot of my life has been learning, like lessons.
Yep.
I'm waiting for the doing part. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like I just pray every day, and I'm just like, I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm tired of learning. I want to go out and use that.
Well, that's what you're doing
And
right now.
that's what I'm trying to do,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I'm trying to do. And then, I don't know if you see me post about it, but I got Strong Tower Nutrition, which is like
Yes.
my retail online store or whatever.
It's great.
And then my goal is to have my own store.
That's awesome.
And and that would be one of the things.
Just do.
And, yeah.
Just keep doing, keep pressuring, keep going.
And that's what I'm
keep
saying. And
pushing.
that's what I use a lot of the podcast for, is to, for different ears to hear.
Exactly.
And then, because I'm also tired of GNC and Vitamin Shop, and that's all we have.
All the junk that they sell.
All we have, yeah.
It's such junk, some of it.
It's
hard
not.
to
It's not
find
even
it.
just that. It's also the people that push it. You're like, oh, here, have you tried this today?
Uneducated.
Oh, wait, does that person even need that?
No.
Like, why are you giving that to them? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Uneducated.
Yeah.
It could be really potentially damaging for somebody to take
Exactly.
a certain kind of
like
supplement
GNC
and
has
stuff.
like 16-year-olds working there trying to push
okay.
things because they're only making commission. So I'm like, give it a rest.
Give it a rest, please.
So that's why I told myself, I'm like, I want to get into this because I worked I don't know if you ever went there, NutriShop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that lasted like 3 years.
Okay.
Learned a lot there, and then also learned how not to run a business. So
Like you said, it's all learning curve. It's all
exactly,
learning
and that's what I love about it. I look at the owners of Retro and the Anytime Fitness I worked at, and I look at those guys. I'm like, I don't want to be nothing like them. They're just caring about the money. They're not caring about the people we're trying to say or think or.
That's why I left Retro. That was the number one.
I think that's why
reason.
everyone left.
It was they just did not care about us, the clients. It was truly about the money, which is why I went over to Training Center because they love the clients.
Front desk guy, I remember one morning, he was on the phone begging the owner to buy toilet paper. He's like, "Come on, man, we need it. He's like, "Not today, not today." I'm like, what?
You gotta
That's
have
one
that.
thing that you have to have.
You gotta have that
What are you
by
talking
law.
about? Especially in the gym.
In
Come
the
on.
gym, please.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It was bad.
Well, that's why I went to Training Center, and then I'm at Training Center, and I'm at Edge, and sometimes we'll go to the Y. It depends.
Yeah.
But no, I love it over there because they have that. They care. I mean, it's not the fanciest place, but Jack's got all of the equipment that you could possibly need, and he loves his clients.
Oh,
He treats
yeah.
everyone
Training
like
center? Oh, my
gold.
gosh.
Yes, love it there. Love it there.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
everyone. A lot of people I talk to, they're like, "Oh, well, that's just bodybuilding and powerlifting." I was like, "No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I've
No,
seen
it's not.
every time I go in there, all I see is old people.
You'll see a ton of elderly people, a ton.
Yeah.
And like,
they're nice to you no matter who you are. No
and
matter.
Jack values, he's the owner, Jack Osborne owns
Yeah.
a training center, and he values his clients at any age. He is just, I can't say enough about the way that he treats people over there. But there are a ton of bodybuilders, and it can be very intimidating. Some of my girlfriends will go over there with me, and they're like, I'm not going back. I'm like, why? Did you see the girls there? I said, they all started looking like you guys, so
Exactly.
just
And-
keep going.
And if you remember that these people have goals.
Exactly.
Like, these people are killing themselves.
to look like this.
It's not like they woke up like that.
No.
They're doing something that's way over top.
Exactly.
To look the way they do.
Exactly.
Yeah, in your eyes, you're like, oh, why does she look like that? Blah, blah, blah.
Because she busts her butt and works out
it's
3
a different
times
level.
a day.
It's a different level.
It is.
And to be a regular person, you don't have to take it to that level.
Right.
Just do what suits you. like diet the way it suits yourself. Like you don't have to whatever, you know. And that's the thing about all these different. Have you ever seen the documentary Game Changers?
Okay, so I haven't seen this yet.
Okay.
Everyone's talking about it.
Oh
I know
my
it's
gosh.
been around for. I know. I got to get into it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. Because when I first watched it, it was before. It was like when it first was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And no one was talking about it yet.
Yeah.
I was just looking to see what I was like. Turn it on, right? It started. I was like, this is a vegan movie, isn't it? You know, when it first started, I was like, crap. I was like, okay, let's watch it. So I did, you know, and I understood what their way they were trying to go. But then I also listened to the podcast that Joe Rogan did. It was 4 hours long.
Yes.
And he had the director of it on, and then a stupid idiot guy that was like a nutritionist.
Yeah.
He should have had a different guy on there to argue it, but they went head to head, and the Game Changers guy just like... He just shot down everything the other guy said. I was like, see, you need to have a different dude on there. You can't, this guy doesn't know what he's
It's all
talking
the
about.
Presentation. It really is. But I heard it was really, really, really good and really informative, too.
It was informative, but you have to keep an open mind. You have to, a lot of people are just so ready to just take in that idea. They're like, oh, this says it's okay, let me do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Instead of doing the research or even really knowing
and
what
understanding what they're talking about.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
They're saying plant-based, and it kind of covers them a little bit. Because when I think of plant-based, I think of mostly plants, but you have meat and whatever fat on your plate. Right? But he's talking about all plants. He's talking about no meat at all. But
I'm more power to you if you want to go that route, but
that's the thing too. I don't have any issues with people that do just meat or just vegetables, whatever. I'm a believer in both.
I'm a believer in both.
And whatever works for you.
Yeah. I'm definitely a believer in both. I mean, I like gains, so I know I need to eat meat. Like, I know what's going to give me what.
Well, that's the thing too,
you
is
know?
like you can gain, but they're saying like, oh, broccoli has the best protein. I'm like, you know how much broccoli you have to eat to get the protein of a steak?
Large amounts.
Are you kidding me?
Astronomical
That's
amounts
what
of
I'm
broccoli.
saying.
Like,
I'm
I
yeah,
don't want to
you
consume that much food.
No one's going to. No one's going to
ridiculous.
unless you put it in a shake and like
Exactly.
do it that way.
Exactly right. So, I'm a meat eater. That ain't gonna change.
Oh man.
So,
but I guess we can wrap this up.
All right, cool.
And thank you so much, for coming in.
It's been a
Even though it was
pleasure.
like third time I tried to get you in here.
Oh my God, my schedule. Thank you. I
Oh, no
appreciate
problem. Thank you for coming in.
it. Absolutely.
All right. See you guys.